Well, it's 12 minutes after 9, July the 7th. I'm just leaving Napanee. I'm doing a day trip to Sandy Cove and Belleville and back, which will be about a 66-kilometer round trip. This is a good test trip for me, proving the new prop, how the performance is working. I'll be monitoring power usage all the way, as well as solar performance. So the very first thing I tried, because my prop was totally mangled with weeds, and I've cleared it, looks like 100%. And that's with my new weed guard on there, and that just prevents it from tangling, getting tangled around the base of the prop. Anyway, so to start out, my voltmeter is at 53.6 volts and drawing just 4 amps right now. I'm just putting along. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the solar panels off so I could get a good wattage reading. So I've got the wattage set to between 15 and 1600 watts, and that corresponds to 29.5 amps on the meter. So that's what I'll monitor. So right now with it drawing, okay, it's up to 30 amps. I don't want to go any more than that, but let's call it 30 amps. And I'm doing 9 kilometers an hour, which is a very good speed. Now, I'm not sure if the current in the river right now is coming in or going out, because we have a seiche in this river, and it cycles every 2.5 hours, or 2 hours 20 minutes. So you'll get a backflow of current coming up the river against the normal current, and then you'll get it going back with the current, so back and forth motion. The locals call it a tide, and even though it's not a tide, but it'll fluctuate, you know, maybe a foot during that time period. Anyways, off to Sandy Cove. We're off to a good start, and I'll try and maintain this budget. I'll turn the solar panels back on. Now right now I'm in the shade, so not going to be producing much solar. So 277 watts on the main controller, 296 watts on the other controller. So 550 watts. I'm going to tilt the canopy in a few minutes and see how that changes. So with the canopy just tilted at about, I don't know, 7-degree point, so slightly tilted, you can see the solar performance has jumped to 380 on the main and 385 on the secondary. So very good performance for this time of day, 9:24 in the morning. So the advantage of being able to tilt and angle your solar performance to tune things. I could go a little bit more, but then I wouldn't be able to see out that side. That might be an issue. Oh, okay, so let's do that again. So 356 watts, 369 watts, and I'm using 779 watts. Negative 779 watts is the amount that's coming out of the battery. That's the net amount. So I'm doing some charging and discharging because of the motor, and so roughly 780 watts. At that rate, that will be that will determine the state of charge at the end of the day. So in 4 hours, let's just round that up to say it was 1,000 watts. That would be that would take my state of charge down to 60% at that rate, but it's less than that. So probably I don't know, 70% state of charge by the time we get to Sandy Cove. That's kind of what it's indicating to me. Anyways, we'll keep an eye on that. If it gets cloudy, it'll get worse. But if the sun stays out, it should get stronger during the day, and that rate might even improve. You know, instead of 70%, maybe 80%. We'll see. We're just passing the 5K mark, and it's 9:48. We're making good time. Right in this little section, because of the marshy area, the deer fly at this time of year are really bad. So that's why I brought my little zapper racket. I've already been nailed once on the back of the leg by the little buggers. They'll take a chunk out of you. Anyways, this is the time of year that we have a lot of deer flies, especially in marshy areas. So we go from black fly season, then we get mosquitoes and deer flies, and deer flies will clear out, in another couple weeks. It should be a lot better. But for now, they're a little bit annoying. Well, I'm still in a very marshy area, a lot of weeds in this area, and I suspect I have some around the prop right now, slowing me down a little bit. Right now I'm doing 8.3, 8.4 kilometers an hour, and I'm now drawing 29.5 amps. So the power has gone up and the speed has gone down. Well, I do know I have some weeds in that, but there's no sense in clearing it until I get to Deserano, and then I should be clear of the weed beds. So I've now reached Deseronto. Right where I'm at is about 11 kilometer mark from my dock. We're going under the Skyway Bridge ahead of us. Right now we're doing 8.5 kilometers per hour, and we're drawing 28.5 amps. Pretty good. I'd like to check to see if I have any weeds dangling around the prop. I can see some, so I think I'm going to clear those. Cleared the weeds from the motor. There was some there, and it's enough to make a difference. I'm now cruising at 8.8 kilometers per hour, drawing 28.6 amps. So roughly the same power draw, but now I'm going slightly faster. So it makes a difference when you have a solar electric boat. You really have to fine-tune the efficiency all the time and be aware of that. If you have a gas-powered boat, well, you're just going to be burning a little more fuel, and that's okay. Or if I was only going out for a few hours, then yeah, I wouldn't worry about it too much and that. But today is a test for long distance and maintaining efficiency and state of charge at the end of the day. This will represent my first day of when I go up the Trent Severn in another month. So I'm maintaining a 1500 watt draw from the motor, which is very good, and 28.3 amps, and we're doing 8.9 to 9 kilometers an hour. So pretty good. I'm thinking this will give me some pretty good data for the end of the day. It's a quiet day, very little wind, so not being affected by that. So just about to go under the Skyway Bridge. This joins the mainland just outside of Deserano over to Prince Edward County. And and this is really the gateway to the Bay of Quinte, and that after we pass through the Napanee River, and it joins up with the Hayward Long Reach coming down from Lake Ontario, and now this is the Bay of Quinte that we'll head up towards Belleville. They're doing a lot of rework on the bridge. I'm traveling with the canopy tilted still, and I'm getting 420 watts on the top bank, 439 watts on the bottom bank. So 860 watts roughly. If I was to tilt the canopy back up straight, of course that efficiency would drop. So I'll leave it on like that for now, since the sun is over on the port side. Okay, we're just starting to come to what they call Big Bay, a very wide open section of the Bay of Quinte, and the wind has now changed direction and is coming from the northwest. I don't know, 5-10 kilometers an hour, so it's affected me a bit. I'm down to 8.3 kilometers an hour. Still drawing 28.6 amps, and my solar performance, let's check that. With the canopy tilted, 451 and 470, so well over 900 watts at 11:30 in the morning. Well, I'm at Sandy Cove. Actually, I just went past Sandy Cove, and I'm just turning around looking for my friends that were supposed to be here, and I believe that's them coming way in the distance, fashionably late. Anyways, yeah, I made it here at 79% or 76% state of charge, and which is better than what I was originally estimating. My controller, though, this is strange. It's in absorb mode. Alright, so it's 434 watts in absorb mode. And the other one's 452 watts also in absorb mode. I mean, the batteries are at 76% state of charge. This should be fully in bulk mode. So not sure what's going on. Anyways, hopefully I'll check the battery status and see how they're charging. And here comes Dave and Phil, fashionably late. Anyways, we will get anchored someplace and settled in. Recording. Okay. So just here finishing up the day with my friends here, Dave and Phil, and yeah, 5:03. So yeah, it's going to be a bit of a hectic trip home. I figured 4 hours to get home, so 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock. That'll still be okay. I know the way, but no, it's been a great afternoon here, just sitting here and enjoying the company of my friends. You got it together. Just enjoy it. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm getting ready to depart Sandy Cove, and Dave and Phil there, and had a great afternoon. And Sandy Cove is a really nice little area off of Belleville, and you can see that all different boats are anchored around, even over here. This is the spot to be. Anyways, it's a bit late, so 5:13, so that means I'll be home at 9:15. My wife won't worry about that, I don't think. starting to back across Big Bay. West wind is coming, well, the wind is coming from the southwest, I guess. I'm at 84% state of charge, so that's okay. The only problem is I'm not going to get home till about 9:15 tonight. So a long trip. I'm heading back across Big Bay, and this is a very turbulent bay usually, and you can see even in a light wind from the southwest, it's hitting me at starboard to stern side. It's thrown me around a little bit, but the boat's handling it no problems, other than rocking me back and forth. Anyways, making good headway. I'm doing oh no, it slowed down. It's jockeying back and forth. It's usually about 9 kilometers an hour. Heading back. Anyways, it'll be a long trip back. Should be back by, I'm thinking, 9:15. Well, I just passed under the Skyway Bridge. It goes from the county over to the mainland at Deseronto. Or Deseronto's just slightly up ahead here. About 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers. Anyways, it's been a good day's testing. I'm still cruising along at 9 kilometers an hour. And drawing just under 27 amps. So it's been a good day's set of data. Anyways, I expect to be home in about another 2 hours. It's a long day today. So this is the town of Deseronto. And if you look across here, across the bay, this big island right here. It's called Forester's Island. And at one time, back in the 1800s, there was a lumber baron whose name was Forester, and he built a large mansion on this island. And then as years went by, the mansion gradually became an orphanage. And then the orphanage at one point, I think it was in the 1920s, could be wrong there, but that's what rings a bell. It burned down. However, if you go over onto the island and explore it, you can still find the old foundation of the mansion, as well as the sidewalks that were all along this side of the island. Anyways, it doesn't look like much now, but at one time, in the late 1800s, it was a place of posh. I understand that they used to have large parties over here on the weekend, and people from Deseronto would row across the bay to attend them. Well, we're back to what I call the 5-kilometer mark. These power lines that go across the river are exactly 5 kilometers from my dock. And time right now is 8:21. So the sun is starting to go down. But it's been a good trip for the day. I have figured out that my motor is a little bit on the high side. I was thinking 1 inch too high, maybe 2 inches too high. Kind of the initial assessment that I had back when I first launched the boat. And I made a jack plate that extended it further back, but that also caused problems by extending the weight further back and off balance the boat. So I think what I will be doing is actually lowering the transom by cutting a slot in the top of the transom, lowering it by about 2 inches, and taking that cutout piece and epoxying it on the bottom of the transom, so to extend the whole transom down by 2 inches. The next thing I'll have to be doing also, because I now have over 10 hours of use on this motor, and you need to change the gear case oil. So I'll have to get the equipment for doing that and do that next week. It's just after 9 o'clock, and that is my dock up ahead. I'm still going along pretty good, maintaining the same 1500 watts, and I'm down to 40% state of charge, which is kind of expected. Originally I thought maybe 50%, but since I've been traveling mostly on batteries for the last hour or so, that's reasonable, 40%. So anyways, that's a good number to use for calculating my trips. And I'm using my navigation lights for the first time. Anyways, I guess I better slow down for the dock.